Hello everybody, welcome back to Inquisitive I Am, the reboot of the show. I am happy to be back on. It's been in demand. I never saw it coming, never thought this would happen again because y'all know I moved up north, but because of the request, because of my executive director willing to do it with me, everybody knows him as Jerome Carter at Carter Law Firm. He was willing to do it and I'm home, so why not? We have different narratives, we have stories to tell, and I am glad and honored that you guys felt like I could be the one to help assist with those narratives, those stories, putting out great business out into the world. That's what I'm here for, so I'm glad to be back. We have a special guest today, as we always do, but we have a very special guest today. My girl, my home girl, our first Miss Alabama, our first Miss University of South Alabama. We have Miss Kayln Chapman James in the house today. We're going to represent. She's going to tell us about her perseverance, her tenacity. How does she undergo going through different struggles? How does she get to where she is today? And because she's flawless, like she doesn't age, she looks great. And you know, some of us, we are 30 and we look like we 80 and we tend to say, oh, you must live a rough life. This girl got it going on. So we're gonna have her on the show today, and of course I gotta bring it up. It's still out there. It's still hot. It's still a hot commodity. As long as you're pushing out those babies, this is something worth grabbing. I do now have it on Kindle for $9.99. So if you don't want to purchase the book and you want a quick read, grab it. It is a great guide. It will not change. As most know me, I am raw and uncut. So grab the book, grab your pearls and grab your wine and grab this book. And I thank you guys so much for the show. I thank you for purchasing the book. We got so much going on this week we will talk about later. And of course we have the Juneteenth coming up tomorrow. We have raised the $5,000. We have 5 $1,000 scholarships we're giving away tomorrow at the venue. Again, parents, if you can, bring the children at 7. Don't bring them to the entire event, but bring them when it's time to do the drawing. I definitely need the parents to be in attendance, because if you're not there when your child's name is called, we're going to move on to the next person. I am ecstatic about the support I've received for Juneteenth. We're going to have a great time. We're going to party. It's a real celebration and a real party with a purpose. So I want you guys to stay tuned. We're going to come back with our special guest, Miss Kayln Chapman James. Don't go anywhere.
Recently, I was in a car accident, and my lawyer got me $3.5 million.
Stop lying! You're an actor! You know you didn't get no $3.5 million back! Tell the truth! Come on, baby! I'm attorney Jerome Carter. If you want to keep most of your money, call me right now. That's what I'm talking about, baby! Whoa!
Just trying to make it up.
Welcome back to the show. I hope you guys have settled down. It is 5 o'clock somewhere. You guys can tune in, and I got my guest with me, my girl, my home girl, Miss Kayln Chapman James. What's up, girl?
Nothing much.
I am so happy to see you.
Thank you.
And as I said to you earlier, the universe brought us together.
It
today.
did, right?
This was like something that we never expected to happen.
That's
Because
true.
you're gone, I'm gone, and look at us.
I know. Here we are.
Here we are
At
together.
home.
At home. Man, so I'm ecstatic to be here with her today. We're going to ask her some questions. She's going to give us some advice and let us know how things are going with her, because we all miss her. So we're glad to have her here today. So we're going to get started.
Well, wait a minute. I got to stop you before you get started.
Yes, please.
Because I need to, first of all, thank you for having me. You know, I watch you from afar. I watch her all the time, the things she's doing in the community, on Facebook and over social media. And I just want to say how proud I am of you, that you've written your book. I remember you putting the feelers out there to see which cover to use, and I always had feedback. You received it so warmly and openly, and you have just been doing great things. So it's my honor. Proud of you.
See, you give me chills. I appreciate that. I got to learn to take compliments well.
Yes,
That's actually something I'm writing about in my new book that's coming up. But I appreciate you. I always do. I always will. And I'm watching you too.
Oh, thanks.
Every day. I'm almost a stalker. So we're going to get started. We're going to get started. I do know it is weird, but that's okay. I'm okay with it being
right?
weird.
Like, I own that.
Okay, that's right.
I love
it. So I do want to get started and ask you questions about growing up in PA. What was that like?
You know, growing up in Pritchard was great. I think just growing up in Alabama alone, I have memories of like a really happy childhood. Just big, open grass backyards, cousins, you know, going in and out of your aunt's back door, and going fishing with my grandparents, and even just working and seeing my grandparents work, like my father's grandparents both owned their own businesses, and my grandmother did hair and my grandfather owned a shoe repair shop.
Okay.
So I remember being very young and like him teaching me how to shine shoes. That was actually my first job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was around the time when Pritchard was thriving. Our downtown had businesses, a lot of black-owned businesses. It really was, and there were lots of children in the neighborhood, so it just felt like a great place with happy memories, mud fights. I mean, everything that a childhood should be.
Yes.
And I really loved it. But also, when you think about growing up in one of the poorest cities in the U.S., per capita income at that time, most people would imagine that it wouldn't be a good experience. But I think that when you have parents who just focus on giving you the things that you need and making sure that you're happy as a child, I think that can define your personal experience as opposed to the everything that's going on around you that at that time as a child you're really not even aware of. But and I think in some way that does shape you when you grow up and you start becoming aware and you see that it can really transform your path.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of that, I want to roll on to the next question based on what you've just spoken on. You spoke on, how your childhood was awesome and how your parents helped shape that. How did that parenting shape you being a parent today? Because I've seen your beautiful family. They're gorgeous. All four of them are just gorgeous people. Like, who does that? Who puts four beautiful people together like that?
Thank you.
How is that? How did mom and pop shape you to be a parent?
Well, I was very fortunate. My mother, she was a single mom for a lot of the time when I was growing up, but my father was still engaged and, around and present. So I think seeing her strength and just knowing that women can do and bear so much, she really raised us to be independent women, to learn how to think for ourselves so that nobody else would have to take care of us, that we knew how to take care of ourselves. And when you have a strong woman in the household, I think it just results in you becoming a strong woman. So I always felt, supported, that I had guidance, and that made a big difference in my life. And like I mentioned before, having grandparents, I think you can't be what you can't see. So having grandparents, right? So having grandparents who own their own businesses and seeing their customer service towards other people and them teaching you, how to conduct business. My grandfather would have me work the cash register at a shoe repair shop in Pritchard. So early on, it was really about them raising me to be an independent, self-sufficient, motivated, and intelligent adult. And that's, that carried on into my parenting too. And but I have to say, like, it sometimes even goes beyond the people who are in your immediate sphere, because I remember people like Dr. Roy and Bessie Smith, the Powell family, which is very well known in this community, Dr. Yvonne Kennedy, Dorothy Holt, Valina McCann. These are women that were, either extended family or people in the community with whom I got to interact with at that time when I was growing up as well. And they, I'm sure, well, I've told a lot of them, but people like that, and also Charles Porter. He was also a big influence. Henry Roberts. So you have it takes a village, and so also I had a lot of strong village members around me who were inspirational and showed me the promise of what tomorrow could bring and what I could accomplish. So I try not to forget those people, because it's very easy to move forward and forget the people who influenced you, but those are some of the pillars of our community that really made a big difference. So taking that forward, I'm married. I live in Miami with my husband and my two daughters, Phoenix and Zen. And so as a parent, there are a couple of things I really try to embrace. Number one, I try not to put my story on my children. I really try to support their independence, their ideas, their interests, because I would never want them, I don't want to try to live my second life through them. I want them to enjoy their experience, because we're not here on this earth for a long time. So it is extremely important for us to make sure that we chart our path, and especially when I think it comes to our children, that we listen to them. So I really try to be a good listener to my children. I try to be a safe space. I always let them know that, I'm here to listen to any issues that they might have, to try to offer advice, or sometimes they don't even want advice. They just need somebody to listen. They need to know that they feel safe and loved. So that's what I do, and I have to say that I feel like I have a very happy family. It's, of course, it's not perfect, and I wouldn't even try to pretend, but it's wonderful when you have a house that's filled with communication, love, and unconditional love, and finding ways to always, regardless of any of the challenges, to bring it back to love.
Right. And we can all appreciate that. We can all learn to appreciate that. I can still learn a lot from her, regardless of what I think I know how to do. Learning is something that we should all do every single day. So a lot of this advice that she's giving us all, you better believe I'm taking word too. So I want to go into, let's talk about, and I'm going to throw some things out there. I'm going to kind of throw off guard, y'all. Miss University of South Alabama.
Yes.
How was that experience?
You know,
being the first.
Right. So funny thing is that, I mean, almost anybody who really knows me from back in the day, I was a huge tomboy, and I kind of still am. I mean, I love to dance or swim or snorkel, or I'll play baseball.
Yes,
whatever the game is, I'm on. And you got cornhole, baby. You want to do? I don't care. Boogie boarding, I'm down with all of it. So I was that way growing up, really active. So I didn't consider myself the pageant type. In fact, I think the very first pageant I really did was the Junior Miss, because when you're in high school and you're involved in Azalea Trail and that kind of stuff, you always you always get involved with other things. So I did that, and it was great. I won some college scholarships, and I didn't think anything about it. I went off to college, and after coming back to Mobile after being injured, I danced at Disney for a year in Orlando, Florida. And it's like, I enrolled at South Alabama because I knew I wanted to complete my education. That really wasn't an option. Like, I knew even if I got sidetracked to go and do anything else I did professionally, I would always, get my college degree. That was very important to me. My father was an educator. Both of my parents were. So, they instilled the importance of education. In fact, education was my platform at Miss Alabama. They now call it a social impact initiative, but, same difference, because I know that's the other thing about growing up in Pritchard. I knew how important an education would be, to help me reach my goals. Yeah, so I say all that to say, it's like, I was on the dance team, and there was a girl who was Miss University of South Alabama, and she said, oh, you should really, Kayln, you should just try it, girl. You got great talent and everything. You should just, we know where we live. So anyway, God bless her soul. So I said, what is it really? So she said, you can win scholarships. So I thought, I'll do this. I'll just give it a try. Whatever. I have a talent. I'm good to go. So I did it. I won. I had no idea what was in store for me. I mean, I didn't know I was going to Miss Alabama. I didn't know that was a preliminary to Miss America or anything. And there were some girls in it that I competed with against before in Junior Miss, and it was I think a shock to everybody. So it was a great experience, and of course that led to eventually I went to Miss Alabama, and I was first runner-up. Returned to second year injured, was second runner-up, and then in 1993 became the first Black African American Miss Alabama. But I'm no longer the first and only.
Yes, we have a new one now.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Tiara Pennington.
Okay, that's a beautiful thing. She has to have had some type of role to look up to you, to see what this is about. And I'm sure she's keeping you on close corners because it's something that she will need. Yeah.
We've spoken, and she's just beautiful. She's a lovely representative for, moving over because I see I'm going to lie, but she's a lovely representative for this state, and she's going to do well at Miss America. So congrats, Tiara.
Awesome. What we're going to do, we're going to take a short break. We're going to go to our commercial, and we will be right back with the fabulous Miss Kayln Chapman James.
I'll wet my whistle.
I think you need to call Jerome.
I'm Attorney Jerome Carter. Call me right now.
Come on, come on, come on. I think you need to call Jerome.
I'm Attorney Jerome Carter. Call me right now.
Come on, come on, come on.
Got a court case?